in Cameroon, voters are gearing up for presidential elections on Sunday. Many residents say they want the government to address youth unemployment and the high cost of living. Incumbent President Paul Biya, one of the continent's longest-serving leaders, is favored to win the vote, which is not without controversy. Opposition candidates contesting the country's presidential elections Sunday made their final rounds in the economic capital Douala this week, hoping to convince voters to vote for change. They are running against incumbent Paul Biya of the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, who is widely expected to win. Huge posters are dotting the streets, including that of Kawala, the only female candidate running on the Cameroon People's Party ticket, and Anicet Ekane of the Movement for African New Independence and Democracy, or MANIDEM. With voter frustration building over the high rate of youth unemployment and the high cost of living, opposition candidates are scrambling for the youth vote with promises to tackle the lack of available jobs.
We plan to have follow-up on small entrepreneurial jobs with technical and financial backup in order to bring workers in the informal sector into the formal sector and enable them to expand their businesses and create proper enterprises and also help employ others.
MANIDEM candidate Anicet Ekane promised a group of students at the University of Douala that he would do more for them than Biya's administration.
Donc l'affaire des 25 000 emplois.
350,000 young people have applied for jobs. There are a lot of frustrations, and I think the government will pay dearly for that come election time.
While the public's frustration is mounting over Biya's slow pace of reform, political analysts say the greatest threat to stability could be Biya's possible departure after nearly 3 decades of power. Many are also concerned that Biya has no clear successor. Meanwhile, on the streets of Douala, anger is palpable from citizens who say they're struggling to make ends meet. Biya is credited for achieving relative stability in the Central African country, which has more than 200 ethnic groups. Atanga Kwano, a representative of the ruling CPDM, assured his constituency that Biya is still the ideal candidate to develop the country.
Le candidat Paul Biya est le président du développement économique.
The candidate Paul Biya is the president who stands behind economic development. He did say that by 2035, Cameroon will become an emerging market country and that by 2012, Cameroon will have many projects under construction.
The Electoral Board of Elections Cameroon, or ELECAM, has approved 23 candidates for the single-round election. This is the largest number of candidates in the country's history. But analysts say the large, fragmented pool of opposition could give Biya an upper hand. The Civil Society Forum for Democracy, a Cameroonian democracy watchdog, recently said it believes that a fair, free and transparent election is inconceivable. And despite ELECAM's claims of neutrality and commitment to transparency, many still question whether the results will be credible, citing Biya's close ties to ELECAM members. Now, joining us for more perspective on Cameroon's presidential election is Chief Bajon Bihai III of the village of Babungo, located in northwest Cameroon. Chief Bihai, such a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Now, you're one of the, I guess you want to consider, unfortunate Cameroonians who cannot vote in these elections because you have to be neutral because you're a chief.
Yes, exactly, I am. And I can't vote because I'm neutral. Like a traditional ruler, I have to accept everybody, all my people, all my subjects, be them SDF, CPDM, UNDP, CDU, or what have you. Or what I have to pray for is something better and a good candidate to win so he can be able to move Cameroon forward.
Now, as we keep hearing in the reports, President Paul Biya, the incumbent, is expected to win. A lot of the opposition are thinking that this could be because of the fact that he has very close ties to the ELECAM, which is the electoral body. A lot of its members are former CPDM. What do you think?
The present regime was trying to do as much as they could do, and they were working with whatever they have to work with. All of us were praying that whatever is coming out should be for the best interest of the people, should be for the best interest of the Cameroonians, especially for the youths, for the women, so Cameroon can move forward.
Now, President Biya has been in office now 29 years. He's running for another term, but there are a lot of criticism against his ability to tackle the issue of, as we just showcased in the package, youth unemployment. Poverty is still extreme, yet the country is rich in oil. It's a port of interest for a lot of countries, Chad, DRC, Gabon, which many say should really enable the country to feed its people. So, speaking from your perspective, and Babungo specifically, have you seen the impact of his administration over the years?
He has actually made education to be completely free in Cameroon. And you look at all the elementary school, they're walking distance less than half a mile from each other. We have every little quarter, we have an elementary school there. We have secondary schools.
What about
we
jobs?
have technical schools. Okay, the jobs are what is lacking, which need to be created. And if you look very well, it's probably is handicap of being able to just make a U-turn from what used to be to what is in the modern area. And
let me ask you just to give us an overview of what you think the opposition faces in terms of being able to effectively campaign and stand an equal chance as President Biya if the playing field is level.
I think the opposition they don't have the mind, they don't have the transportation, the means, the money, and everything like the present regime. Why? Because the CPDM, most of the elites of Cameroon, they are members of the CPDM, and they finance this party, but the opposition party is not financed. Why? Because the people have looked for 11 or 21 years that opposition came into power, but they came into being, but they have not actually seen what the opposition have done to make a difference. And when they go to compare...
Some of them say they don't have the political space, that they are sometimes intimidated, harassed, etc.
Actually, when...
and even been forced to boycott some of the previous elections.
Yeah, when the chairman of SDF came up in 92, I mean, everybody actually looked at him like a savior, just like we were praying that Obama should win. Everybody in Cameroon was praying that Fronde should win. Okay, but since then, he don't even want to give chance to the youth. He don't even want to give chance to any other person to rise in the party. It's only him. Everything's about him. And even this time was the worst because he just imposed himself. So people are instead scared that, but if the only strongest opposition party we were thinking of, the SDF, is behaving the way it's behaving, if it's giving the power and the money, what will they do? They will leave it forever.
We have to end it now, but I know those accusations have been labeled against President Biya too, that he hasn't chosen a successor and he has dominated the field. But we'll see what happens come Monday.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate you being here. That's Chief Bihai, and he joined us in our studios today. He is the chief of the village of Babungo in Cameroon.